then I'll be really upset with myself that I didn't hit record. Anyway, hello everyone. We are here to play some Ink, and I am super excited. We have not had a game on Hammer of the Gods in the homebrew world, or technically this is the underworld of New Alexandria in a while, since we finished our Queer College game earlier this year, and I've been very sad about that because I'm a gay who loves Greek mythology. It's my thing. It's like my special interest.
It's a gay thing. Yeah.
Listen, I spent 34 years thinking that I was like the only straight dude who liked Greek mythology, and like, yeah, thought I was the exception of like, oh, you know, I pulled it off. I'm a cishet dude. No, I was wrong.
It was only a matter of time.
Flash forward to present Rain.
Exactly. Yeah, and also this is technically the second, because I had it as my name for Drags from Mars, but I hadn't like fully settled on it. So this is the first actual game where I am using Rain as my name. So, you know, yay, that's a thing. It's a new thing that we're doing. Anyway, yeah, so Ink is a game about the afterlife and escaping the underworld. This is very much going to be Hades inspired. Ink has a lot of its own mythology that is super cool, and I kind of wish that I was doing that in some ways, but it's just not gay enough. So, you know.
That's fair.
Yeah, we got to make it super gay. I mean, nobody here is straight, so.
Oh, yeah, there's something I have to tell you.
You're great, Shane. You're straight.
I found Jesus.
Again?
That's right. I grew up Mormon.
Oh.
Yes. No, that's bad. There are lots of religious queers out there.
There are.
Yes.
I feel sad.
I'm just not one of them.
Yeah.
I think it's very interesting. Like it's something I'm not going to plug my thing right now. I'm not going to get into this.
That's a separate podcast.
Listen, you can do your thing. This is our time. We're still in the intro.
I have a podcast that at this point I update like once a year because I've been editing the most recent episode for a year, called Queer Steak, which is Mormon lingo. There's the steak. It's you've got your wards, which is when people you go to church with, they're a part of a stake, the larger congregation, which is part of an area, etc. I have a podcast called Queer Steak where I interview current, former, and questioning members of the Mormon Church, and so it's very interesting. Just how many people are still religious? Just queerness and religion. It's really interesting. One of my best friends, Steph, who's actually one of the original founders of Roll D5, is very religious, and she has considered like going to the seminary and stuff, but also she's a lawyer and just doesn't have time for that.
What a combination.
An incredibly busy person. I don't know this person, but like that's just an incredibly busy person.
Oh God, she is so busy. She is so good at what she does, though. It's the ADHD.
It'll do it.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, Mika, since you've already kind of started, do you want to tell us a little bit about who you are outside of your podcast?
Yeah. Hi, I'm Mika. I do things. I am one of the creators of Roll D5, where we specialize in playing indie games. I've been dying to play Ink on Roll D5, so I'm finally happy. Like I'm getting the opportunity to just play it in general. I'm a Brazilian American content creator. That such a weird phrase, content creator. I do things. I like playing in games with people. I also like getting tipsy or petting my dog or eating and then posting about that on Threads and then following it up with, will I tell you all I love you today?
Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't.
Yeah. It depends on how fast Johnny dares me to do it.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I love it. All right, and Elliot.
Hi, my name is Elliot. I also go by Zhao Zhou. I am a TTRPG player, designer, and writer in general. I just almost dropped all my dice. And yeah, I had heard about Ink when Rain brought it up, but I had not played it at all. So this is also my first time in this system, and I'm pretty excited though. I'm also a gay who loves mythology, and I'm a gay who loves Hades, which is kind of repetitive because anyone who likes Hades, I'm pretty sure, has to be a little,
Yeah.
crazy.
You just
Yeah.
said gay a bunch of
A
times.
little.
I did just say, yeah. But yeah, I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, that's like whenever Mika is on Werewolf Wild West and plays a gay cowboy, plays a gay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, truly, Cowboy Dub is just steeped in queerness.
It's true. It's true. Before we get into the game, I do want to just do a quick land acknowledgement that I am recording from. Don't know the areas for either of you, but from the traditional and unceded lands of the Ni-Okaska, Kaskaskia, Ochehi Sakoi, and Kickapoo tribes. And it is a pleasure to be able to be here. So very thankful for that. And you can go to, I just blanked, native-land.ca and find out more about the area you live in. And it's worldwide too, so it's not just the United States. Or Canada, I guess, because it's a Canadian website. Anyway, with that out of the way, so both of you have recently died. You may not be fully aware of that yet. You may not know exactly what's going on. It's very disorienting, very strange. And you're not alone. There are others with you. They're all very bland, very indistinct. Much like if someone were wearing a sheet over themselves. You might have seen other people pretending to be ghosts, like especially kids. Certain times of year, especially. New Alexandria is a land that was founded by Alexander the Great. It is its own world. And since this is the first time for either of you, it is very much, it started out as a Dungeons and Dragons world, a very homebrew world. And then Wizard the Ghost did a bunch of stupid shit. And I was like, you know what? We're done. We're gonna move on to some other games. So here we are. It just keeps getting gayer every time. And yeah. So as you make your way out of this water, you find yourself probably feeling a little bit stiff because this is salty water that you are walking out of. You find yourself on these large stone steps. And before you, you see two very worn-looking columns. Tan, much like our background here, but a little bit more aged, a little bit more weathered. And you see all around you these, you can assume spirits. You may not have seen them in your life. You may not know why you're here. Depending on how things ended, you may not even have known that you died or were dying. And Elliot, let's start with you. Tell us a little bit about your character.
Yeah. I emerge from this water and kind of shake my head, trying to, dislodge it from my hair. And looking around and looking at myself, I have this strange sensation of, I know I have some sort of form, and I know that I have 2 arms and 2 legs and a head. And I have hair that's long enough to have water in it and for it to be uncomfortable. But even though I am looking at myself and looking around, doing the kind of patting of myself, check that everything is in place. I can't seem to fully land on any other details. I have skin that feels relatively soft. I'm pretty sure I have two eyes and a singular nose and ears, not horns, and there's no tail, but it's just me. And that's my character. That's who I look like.
Yeah. And what is your character's name? Or do they remember at this point?
I try to remember, try to know what to refer to myself as, and the only thing I do remember is the color red. And so I suppose that's what I'll have to call myself for now, until I find out anything different.
Makes sense to me. And Mika, what about you?
My character is very used to not quite knowing who they are or what they look like. They do remember in life, as part of their job, they were an everyman. They were painfully average, short brown hair, kind of face you could confuse easily for someone else's. He vaguely remembers things from here and there. I remember as part of his name is just Lemon. That's one thing he is attached to, that word, that name. And he worked in an area that was familiar with the supernatural. So to an extent, he knows that he's dead. He knows he is not alive. But he doesn't know which other world he happens to be in, because that's something that the organization he was part of didn't really have an understanding of. It was the great frontier, death, the afterlife, but nobody had really come back to talk or confirm anything about it.
So Lemon got a promotion, is what I'm hearing.
Yes, he oh, what's the term?
Promoted to dead.
Retirement plan.
Yeah, this is his retirement plan. The agency doesn't have to pay him anything, and he
It's
gets
true.
to live in a nice beachfront property.
Oh my god, now he's just an intern. He's an unpaid intern.
Oh God.
It really is a cycle.
Yeah, it really is. And Lemon, as you are sort of processing what's going on around you, one of the other spirits bumps into you and is like, "Hey, aren't you that one guy? Don't I know you?"
Oh, probably. Tell me more. I'm just so confused right now.
Yeah, me too. Where are we?
That is a great question. I would say the afterlife. It's the first thing that pops into my head.
Wait. Afterlife.
Or you could be very drunk as well.
That's probably it.
Yeah, you're probably very here. Let's just sit you down over here. You can clear your head, think about some things, think about who I remind you of if we know each other. I'm going to lead them to some steps and just set them down. And just pat them on the shoulder and walk away.
And Red, you see this scene happening. There are quite a few other spirits milling about, sort of making their way towards the other side of this platform. It's very dark, other than there are some like braziers attached to these columns that provide the only light around. Otherwise, you can't see very far beyond what seems like this island that you're on. But you do see this individual leading someone over who sort of initially seems pretty stable, and then after talking to them, sort of starts to like wobble back and forth as they're not actually walking. They don't have legs. They're a spirit. They're just like disembodied, floating sheet, more or less. But they start to sort of sway as they float over, and then just start to ponder life or death in this case on these steps.
slightly confused by this, I'll go over to the spirit that's not wobbling, the one that, helped the other sit down, and say, "Excuse me, are you from around here?"
Oh, not at all. I give out a lot, though.
Okay, fair enough. Then you don't suppose that you know where we are?
Well, like I told that fellow over there, could be drunk. Is that how you're feeling?
No, not really. Mostly confused, a little tired.
Do you want the answer that might confuse you even more?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah, take your time. I'm pretty sure we'll have as much as we need.
Well, while I think about that, what's your name?
Lemon. And yours?
Not quite sure, but call me Red for now, I
Red,
think.
yellow, red. I think we have just struck up a fantastic friendship. Red.
Oh, well, um, all right, and sticks a hand out for you to shake.
Shake. Now, Red, I don't mean to alarm you, but I do believe we are deceased.
Oh,
And there does not seem to be a handbook for us.
gotta look around just in case maybe we missed like a sign, a helpful guide or something. And well, this area is nice and lit, and I'm not in agony, which was always the concern. So could be worse, I guess. If
Yes.
yeah. Do you think it really is just standing here and talking to people for the rest of our existence?
Oh my god, it sounds like hell.
Oh God, I hope not. I mean, it's better than that one story about the people trapped in the hotel room and hell is each other. It seems to be a much larger area, though, so I don't feel amazing, but I don't feel terrible.
Do you feel drunk?
No.
Hmm.
Otherwise, I would probably be in heaven.
I see.
We are
Well,
potentially in a limbo.
I don't suppose the goal of this is to go lower, though.
I would hope not, but well, I mean, who decides the rules? Who says that the hell is lower? I mean, what even are directions? Especially in the afterlife. I mean, there really is no up or down. It's like space.
This is weighing very heavily on Red's mind. You just like, that's a good point. Well, I can't say I've ever put too much. I didn't really think this would happen. Well, obviously everyone dies eventually, but I didn't think this is what would happen. What do you think we should do? Since, we're friends, right? So we'll stick together.
Oh, definitely. Pinky promise.
Go for the pinky promise.
Yeah. little pinky promise.
And this pinky promise is being made. You all can hear the fluttering of very small wings. It almost sounds like the wings of a hummingbird, which now that I think about it, I don't know if they had hummingbirds in Greece or New Alexandria, but
I want to say yes.
I do too.
They could have migrated over. It's okay.
Yeah, listen, New Alexandria is like literally an entire different world where they got to through a portal. So like, hummingbird over the ocean through portal makes perfect sense. I see no flaw in this whatsoever.
No.
Yeah.
And you see this seemingly male presenting figure, floating in, much more solid looking than anyone else you've seen so far in this afterlife. Sort of has a glow to them, and their pale blue chitin just hangs very gracefully. And you hear them say, "Okay, spirits, with me."
Well, hey, I guess that's where we should go.
All right. Well, there's no one else here to follow, so tally ho.
How much do Red or Lemon remember of their life, or of life in general?
I think Lemon mostly remembers his job and the fact that he was constantly in contact with otherworldly things.
Okay.
Red is barely aware that they once existed.
That's fantastic. I love that for them.
I think for Lemon, it's sort of like how in season 2 of Doctor Who, they try to use the psychic paper on the people who work at Torchwood, and they're like, we work at Torchwood, we've got basic psychic abilities. We can see through that. Imagine sort of like that, because he was so involved with the supernatural in life that he is like just enough to be able to be a little more coherent.
Right. Yeah, that's fantastic. And I think that is good reason why Lemon would recognize this figure. You probably wouldn't have ever seen him, at least not in the flesh, or maybe not in a human-like form, but you've heard a lot about the god Hermes, who is a psychopomp, guide of the spirits into the underworld, among other things.
I will lean over to Red and relay this information.
Oh, now that you mention it, I do feel like I've heard that name before.
It's also the name of some very fancy clothing, I think.
That would make sense.
I could be wrong. I feel like I've seen that somewhere. It's not important. This just kind of confirms we are in the afterlife.
Oh, yeah. Kind of a shame. Well, I don't actually know. I just assumed that I had more to do when I was alive, but maybe I didn't. Maybe I was really old. Maybe this was my time.
I'm surprised it didn't die sooner.
Why is that?
Oh, just the things I dealt with when I was alive. Very into weird, spooky shit that could have easily gotten me killed numerous times. Some eldritch terrors, werewolves, vampires, that sort of thing.
Well, whoever you were when you were alive, it sounds much more interesting than I was probably just some person of no interesting aspect.
I highly doubt that.
Thank you. That's the nicest thing I remember anyone telling me.
It's a little sad.
Well, not that much. I only remember like the last 10 minutes.
That is fair. I suppose I only remember bits and pieces outside of knowing what I did for work. I don't recall why Lemon. I don't recall if I had a family or hobbies. I wonder if I was a bird watcher.
Maybe you
I
grew
feel like-
lemon trees.
Maybe. Well, that'd be a fun little side hobby. Have a lemon orchard. Then during the fall, disgusting Instagram couples could come and pick lemons and take beautiful photos.
What's Instagram?
I can't seem to remember. I haven't the foggiest.
It must not have been very important then.
No.
I love the
No.
idea, like, because a lot of concepts of the afterlife, like all of these things that you didn't know in life, and maybe the two of you haven't quite processed all of that yet. You don't have access to all of knowledge that has existed or will ever exist. But I love the idea that Lemon just like has this thought of Instagram that does not yet exist, but like fully knows at least roughly what it is in theory.
Yeah.
Mm.
In
Probably
theory.
some really shitty poem, probably.
I feel like Lemon hated poetry with a passion.
Amazing. Do either of you have your burden picked out yet?
I
Yes.
do.
Whoever wants to go first, I would love to hear what your particular burden is.
Mine is short and sweet. I have an unfulfilled promise.
Lemon's burden is an unanswered question to a mystery.
I love that. Can't wait to find out what it is. So, as this gaggle of ghosts follows the Olympic god, you are led before three looming figures. You see these, again, male presenting figures. Next to them, initially, all you see is a single pair of glowing red eyes. And then you realize another pair of eyes is next to it, and then a third pair. And you see leaning forward this shadowy figure that appears to be a three-headed monstrous dog.
Red will take one step behind Lemon.
Hail and well met.
It just growls at you, and then the judges, they start to tell everyone to form a queue. And so all of these spirits have lined up in a very not orderly fashion, because you're all spirits. You're all going to wander a little bit. You're not really able to stay necessarily in one spot super well, without a lot of concentration, and you're newly dead. So things are a little tricky. Still
Yeah.
figuring out how like movement and death works. But once the two of you finally are about to come up in line, which of you would go first to be judged?
I think Lemon would.
Makes sense. I mean, probably a little bit more prepared for it in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Before you, again, because you have some knowledge of the supernatural and clearly a little bit of knowledge of the afterlife, you would recognize Iakos, Minos, and Rhadamanthus, the three judges. And you see that they sort of debate amongst themselves. And they don't really address you. They kind of give you some glances, like a side eye here and there. And then Minos just loudly says, "Ah, yes. Lemon.
Yes, that's me.
Well, I knew you'd make it here eventually. A little disappointed to see you here this soon."
Oh, I thought I'd be here much sooner.
So a little faith in yourself.
Oh, it's less. It's not that I don't have faith in myself. It's more that I understand that there are terrors in the night. And I willingly chose to poke those terrors with a stick.
Oh my god. Lemon is just like supernatural Steve Irwin.
Yes.
Crikey, that's a big spirit.
Oh, I wish I could do an Australian accent.
Yeah,
I'd switch right now.
I mean, I'm here for it either way. You do you. And he just says, "Well, where do you think you belong?
Like, literally, metaphorically, what are my options here?
Never mind.
Like, would I prefer to be alive instead of dead? I'd much prefer to be alive. There are so many unanswered questions.
Oh no, that's not an option. Now that you're here
Oh.
forever.
Oh, I'm not sure what the point of the question was then.
It's fine. You'll figure it out.
Oh no, I don't like that. It's my time
And-
up.
And you see he lifts his gavel and slams it down and says, Tartarus.
I've played too much Persona 3.
Again, just like random information that Lemon suddenly has.
Yeah, yes, yes. Something about
If Lemon had
shadows.
been alive in that time period, would have
Yes,
played
yeah.
so much Persona 3.
Just so much. I am the shadow, the true self. Well,
Red.
okay.
Red, as you approach, they ask you the same question. There's a lot less whispering and side-eyeing this time. And they just say, where do you think you belong?
I'm not really sure. I think I barely understand where I am right now, to be honest. I suppose uh, morally, I belong where I deserve. I just don't know what I deserve.
Ah, yes. He's gotten into the Lethe water. It's fine. It'll wear off eventually. Asphodel Meadows. And slams down.
Red looks around to see if that's like reactions, to see if that's like a good or a bad thing, you know? Like
It seems like whenever they issued the order for Tartarus for Lemon, you could see some of the other spirits like recoil a little bit, like, oh shit.
Oh boy.
But whenever they say the Asphodel Meadows, nobody seems to really react.
it's like, okay. Mentally it's like, okay, that's too bad. We'll be
Doing better
fine.
than somebody.
Yeah.
And so as the remainder of the spirits are judged and given their final destinations, you are led to another set of steps, and there waiting for you is a boat with a skeletal man who, again, Lemon, you would probably know to be Karen, the ferryman of the underworld.
Well then. I feel like would I know anything about Tartarus and why everyone gasped?
I think so, especially because there are a lot of things that are pretty well known in Greek mythology. So realistically, you being someone who deals with the supernatural would have probably heard that the Titans were imprisoned in Tartarus. That also it is where usually spirits that are deemed as needing punishment are sent.
Ooh.
So essentially hell.
Okay. Well, I don't know about you, Red, but I think it's time to blow this popsicle stand.
Oh, are you sure? You don't think the skeletal boat looks at all comforting or inviting or fills you with joy or contentedness?
Less so now that I know where I'm going.
Oh, you're not also going to the Aspho fields.
No, I'm going to what is essentially hell.
Ooh, I see.
Yeah, I probably made some deals with eldritch entities that I shouldn't have, would be my guess.
Ah, well that sounds concerning.
I didn't think so at the time, but It's your choice. You can feel free to stay, do what you will, but I am going to bounce.
I will say, Lemon, you would probably know that Asphodel is essentially where the majority of the deceased will go. And it's not bad. It's just kind of bland.
Hmm.
It's almost like the underworld equivalent of like the back rooms, but a little less creepy.
Okay. So if you'd like to spend your eternity in eternal blandness, that's up to you. It's better than where they would like me to go, where I do not plan on going.
Well, where are you going though? Surely you can't like go back and points like up.
Oh, now with that attitude, I can't.
So you're going to try though.
Yes.
Well, something tells me that there's a saying, you can't make something without breaking something. I don't really remember the metaphor.
Not familiar.
Yeah, no. Well, I can't say that I like the idea of bland things, but I don't want to be tortured. But all right, okay, let's go.
All right, friendship.
I will do the like grabbing the hand, like real bro style.
Yeah.
Like, friendship.
So the predator handshake.
Bros.
Yeah.
That is the broiest handshake ever. Yes.
Yeah.
What would Lemon's plan be to escape? Because I think it would be a very common bit of knowledge, and it was just reminded, or you were just reminded, that no one escapes the underworld, and the couple of stories you've heard of people who have found a way to cheat death in some way or to descend and then return usually are met with some extreme punishment whenever they finally are brought back. Nobody escapes forever. And they like to say no one escapes.
Geez, what would my plan be? Do I know if Karen takes us each directly to our places or if there's another place we're ferried to first?
I think you could assume, because Tartarus is coincidentally the deepest layer of the underworld, that you're going to have several stops. Like you're on the most scenic of routes.
Public transportation's really slow,
Yeah.
Every single
There's
bus
no
stop.
investment in infrastructure in the underworld.
Would I know what stop is Red's?
Yeah, it would most likely be the first stop.
Okay. I guess if Red's coming with, we're just not getting on that boat. Unless we want to punch Karen in the face and take the boat.
That is an option.
Are you suggesting this to Red?
Yes.
Red will be like, that skeleton-looking fellow, he doesn't look too bad. It's not like we could drown him, so I suppose if we toss him off the boat, he'll be fine.
Yeah. Though I suppose others have tried that route.
How do you think it went?
Well, let's see if he was wearing a floating device. That could answer our question.
He doesn't appear to be.
No. Maybe people haven't.
There is a first time for everything.
Oh, normally I try to err on the side of caution. That was just the first thing that popped into my mind.
How fast is the water going?
Yeah.
It's not. It seems to be a fairly still lake. Like there are slight waves, but it's not moving.
Are we just on an island, essentially.
As far as you can tell. So once you reach these stairs and you see this boat, you cannot see more than a couple of feet past the boat.
Ooh. All right, we can try and get on the boat. Maybe try to incite a riot, push the skeleton off.
Well, and surely there can't be other spirits who are happy with their designations. We can't be the only ones who would like to go elsewhere.
Oh, certainly not. Plus, they would make great redcoats.
Is that a pun on my name?
Oh, definitely not. I should rephrase that. Rad, since we are friends, we are sticking together. But everyone else who might tag along is disposable.
Did they do something wrong?
No, it's just us first. Quite frankly, I wouldn't blame them if they threw us into danger.
Hmm.
This is probably
So
why
we
I'm
should
going to
throw them
Tartarus.
into danger first. No, I think I
Yes,
understand. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely throw them into danger first.
Okay. That makes sense to me.
Okay.
I love it.
Yeah, I guess we're going on the boat.
Red's about to get lowered down to Tartarus, like as we speak. Like,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
This is what happens when you make friends with people. Don't make friends. They'll drag you to hell.
Literally. Yeah, so as you board this boat, it looks very small initially, but much like the TARDIS, it's bigger on the inside. Once you're on the boat, you see that it is much larger than it appears. And so this couple of dozen spirits are all fairly huddled together. It's big enough that you all can fit. It almost seems like it changes its size to accommodate however many are needed on board, but not enough that you can just move about freely. You're fairly, I wouldn't say you're packed in like sardines, but it's friendly.
standing room, like not everyone has a seat.
No one has a seat actually.
Oh, okay.
Not even Karen.
That's fine. We need to be standing, getting prepped. Like, ha.
It's easier to throw people off the side if they're standing as well. So
Also keeps you more limber, you know.
Is Karen the only one rowing?
Yes.
Oh, must be a strong boy. I'm just
But he has
assuming
no
gender
muscle.
here.
He has no
Yeah.
muscle, old bone. So really,
I think it's more like spiritual muscle.
Their belief in Christ.
Yes. Yes. Zeus Christ.
Yes. Sorry, my bad. Yeah, their belief in Zeus.
Does anybody really believe in Zeus though? Like
They should.
other than Zeus?
No, he's a dick.
That's what he's
I
most
believe
known
in his,
for. Sure.
yeah, truly. I believe in his downfall.
That's
and
also
him
why you're
becoming
going to
bastard.
Tartarus.
Yes.
That's actually Lemon's secret. Tried to overthrow the gods.
Why not? I'm into it.
Yeah.
What happens when you kill a god? There
Yeah.
we go. That's my unanswered question.
This goes from Hades suddenly to God of War.
It's all the same universe, really.
Honestly,
Yeah, I'm
probably.
just gonna write this down. What happened on my character sheet so I don't forget?
That makes sense. And speaking of character sheets, what are the skills that you both have from your life that you still retain?
Oh shit, that's what I forgot to do.
It's okay. I have mine. I'll go over mine while you look those up. They're on another monitor. I have staying alert, telling stories / songs, and haggling.
Ooh. Those are good.
Red will slowly figure out that they have these skills.
I love the idea that Red is just like pondering. And I was like, what if I stay alert?
Yeah, how good am how good at I am at being aware of my surroundings.
This is a fantastic question. How good are you at it?
Decent, apparently. Above average, even.
Wow, look at you.
Red does not have ADHD.
Good for him.
Yeah.
So mine is studying cosmology and death rituals.
Ooh, okay. Any others? I believe you get 3, right?
3.
Yeah.
So I roll on this table 3 times?
Yep.
Oh, so of the 6, I get 3. Let's see. Staying alert.
It's good to go to have.
And telling stories in old songs.
I love that you both have 2 of the same skills.
Oh,
But
should I re-roll?
Oh no,
I think this is way funnier.
Yeah, because you
Okay.
have each one unique, but you have the other 2 in common, and I think that's really interesting because knowing what I know about Red, I think that you have wildly different reasons for your skills, and I think it'll be really interesting to see how that plays out. So
Alright.
I'm excited. Yeah, I think it would make sense to say that here, possibly staying alert would be a good thing. Possibly even haggling might come into play here.
Ooh.
If either of you would like to roll.
Yeah. Do we roll for both or just pick one and tell you?
I would say, I mean, if you both want to roll something, then I would say probably Lemon should be rolling the staying alert just because he doesn't have the other.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
So we roll 2 dice,
Yep,
add the numbers
2d6.
together, base
And then add a karma
difficulties.
point,
Mhm.
right?
Okay.
But then if we have a skill that applies to the task, we can also add a +2 to the roll. This is what my little guide says.
Yeah, it's not a super crunchy game, but there's just like enough crunch to.
Yeah. All right. How much karma do we start with?
It just says positive.
Okay, that's what I figured. All right, so 2d6, then I'd add 2 because I'm using my ability to stay alert,
Mhm.
and then +1 for karma.
Yes.
Okay. So,
Ooh.
oh,
I rolled well, so
I rolled just below. I got a 6.
Oh no. Elliot, what'd you get?
I got a total of 10.
Nice. Okay. Mika, how does Lemon fail at staying alert?
I think Lemon is trying to study Karen specifically to figure out any openings, but because there are other people, he gets distracted with their talking, their jabbering. Maybe there's a little bit of motion knocking him over, and so like he's so close to being able to keep focus, but at just the the most inopportune times, his focus breaks from someone bumping into him or someone laughing.
I'm just imagining, as someone who has grown up in the Midwest, that you're constantly like, oh, because people are just like
Yes.
bumping into you.
That's yeah. He's probably even saying like, "Oh,
Has never said it his entire life, but suddenly knows
No.
that word, and it's part of
Yeah.
him.
it's part of his very being now."
The
Absolutely.
underworld does crazy things to you.
Way ahead of the times. Yeah, and Elliot, how does Red haggle successfully? Like, who are you haggling with, and how?
So I'm imagining that Red's idea is that, like, oh, if we cause like a commotion, that will throw Charon off his game. And so Red is like trying to convince people to crowd to like one side of the boat, and is like, "Can't you see that in the water? Don't you? It's right over there. I think it might be a whale of some kind." And is trying to get like as many people over to this one side, so then like can start just pushing people off when we're ready. Like it's just unbalancing this rowboat.
Amazing. Yeah, and the end goal, if I am remembering correctly, is to push Karen off, and you're commandeering the boat, correct?
Yes.
So, as you have sort of convinced it enough of these people that there's something over there in the water, something really interesting, they start to make their way, just kind of pushing through, very politely, just squeeze right past you.
That's why Lemon can't do it. All these people
Yes.
are walking by. Oh,
Exactly.
Sorry, didn't see you there. That was kind of Canadian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is the Midwest if not Canada Light?
Just like the beer they drink.
Exactly. Yeah. And it starts to tip the boat. You notice that Karen does not seem to be super concerned. Like, seems like they are very stable. That even if the boat were to flip, that they would probably be fine.
dang.
Should have
Lemon,
figured.
I don't think it's working.
I don't suppose we could convince everyone to charge Karen.
I can try. Might be a bit difficult. They're all really preoccupied with looking for a whale right now.
Maybe there's a whale closer to Karen.
Ooh.
Is there anything in the boat, like objects to throw, a rock?
No, it seems to be very empty.
Okay, do we hear people saying, "Oh, I don't see it"?
Oh, absolutely. There's like, where is it? That
Then
guy over there.
I will
said
say
there was something.
loudly, "Oh, it's over that way."
They're pointing at, like,
towards
Karen.
Karen.
Yeah.
And you see Karen makes eye contact. Not that he has eyes. Eye socket contact with you, Lemon. And just, despite being a skeleton, you can see his brows lower as he's glaring. As he is.
Does this give me a
pushed
terror
off of
token?
Because you spent your karma, I may be doing this wrong, but I think that would put you over to negative karma, because you can flip it back and forth.
Yes. Okay.
And also, it just makes sense to have negative karma after you push the ferryman of the underworld.
Yeah, that checks out. Yeah. Okay, so Karen gets pushed over. Do other people fall over, get shoved over, or are they just? How are people reacting to this?
Oh, I think the bulk of these spirits immediately, because they rush where he is, they tip the boat over enough, like it actually flips the boat, and so now you are sort of, I think it was the first Pirates of the Caribbean where you're like under the ship.
Mm.
Oh.
Oh,
Lemon just looking, or Red looking for Lemon, trying to spot their friend.
Red, are you there?
I think so. I guess I can't drown. Actually, this is a lot less stressful when you don't need to breathe air.
Or
Oh,
swim.
it's still weird. This is so weird.
Is there anyone else? Yeah, where is everyone in relation to us? Should we try and turn the boat over?
There are
That's got to be difficult.
There are a couple of other spirits under the boat with you. I think that you can see briefly as Karen is like sinking down, because he does have a physical form, sinking down into this inky dark water. And you see these other spirits also sinking, which is weird because they're spirits and they don't need to float, but they're also baby spirits, essentially, like not literal babies, but they're new spirits. So they don't really fully understand how ghost physics work.
Okay, that's depressing. I'm not going to think about that. That I said this would happen. Good job, Red.
You too.
Let's flip this boat over.
I would say, because this is a more physical test, this is going to be a spirit, or not a spirit, a shadow, instead of your spirit. So, thus far, all of the spirits that you've seen do appear fairly passive, fairly friendly, even, or at least neutral. But tell me what it's like. Let's start with Lemon. As your shadow starts to emerge,
Is the shadow rising up from me to push the boat?
that could make sense. Yeah, like almost coming out of like your back or your shoulders.
So we only see the top part of it in that case as it rises from my shoulders. This, uh, Vanta black mass rising from my back, and it's got these two pointy ears. They're sort of like horns, I guess, like if a child just drew pointy horn. And it's got like two giant like T-Rex pom-pom arms. Oh, like it's this, but like it's long claws.
Right.
Pops up and like pushes the boat up. And then if anyone's looking at it, there's kind of a little squiggle and a green eye opens up and looks at anyone who's looking at the shadow, at the green-eyed monster.
Oh. Lemon, is that on purpose?
No, it is not.
Oh.
This is new.
Kind of float a little away, just don't want to be too close.
No, that's fair. Maybe, yeah. Stand back.
And Mika, is your shadow the Bastion?
It's in Odisso.
Oh.
Yeah.
Even spookier. I love it.
Yes.
Yeah, terrifying mass of mouths and eyes and tongues.
Essentially, I mean, this one, right now it's just the eyes, but like it does open its mouth and it's like a white void inside the mouth. But then there's like another, like smaller green-eyed monster inside. And it's like a nesting doll.
Right. Or like the xenomorph with the pharyngeal jaw.
Yes. Yeah.
Both is the right answer. What about Red?
Red, much like Red, Red Shadow is also hard to pin down, and I think that almost that sort of you wonder if it's a trick of the shadow in this case, where you think perhaps you're simply seeing something or making up movement when it's not really there, but it's a very faint wisp that for the most part seems connected to what passes as Red's heals. Obviously Red doesn't really have a physical form. Um but if Red were to have a physical form, it'd just be kind of that wisp of shadow that draws out behind you, and kind of a dramatic lighting. Um, the only difference is instead of being humanoid shaped, this shadow very quickly becomes serpentine as it sits on the ground. Um, but it is much less dramatic, perhaps, than Lemons. It seems content to remain laying on whatever flat surface is around.
Just sunning itself on the non-existent sun.
It would be stunning if it could, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, we talked about it before we started, but I do love that you wore your snake shirt for this.
Represent.
Yeah, Lemon, I think that your shadow is able to pretty easily flip this boat over because, again, as was already mentioned, this boat does seem to change dramatically in size as most of these spirits have tipped over. It is much smaller now, so you still do not have a lot of room to move. Uh, you do not have the I don't know what they call them, the big like,
Or
well, it's not an oar because it's like
Ooh.
the
uh,
like in Venice.
yeah, the gondola.
Oh, the stick.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
that
don't have a stick.
I just call it the stick. Like,
Yeah.
you know.
I'm sure it has an actual name, but I do not know off the top of my head. I should probably know that, but I don't. But
I'm
You-
revoking your gay card.
that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
Thankfully, it's only a temporary. It's a warning.
Yeah.
Uh,
Only one of the colors of the pride flag go out on your card.
just a single tear.
Yes.
But you do notice that after you have flipped the boat back over, you really couldn't tell that there was any change previously because it's very subtle. But the boat is being pulled forward. And as it goes along, it starts to speed up. Not
Mm,
dramatically, but enough that it now feels like you are on some sort of river as opposed to being on like an open lake.
All I can think of right now is that Willy Wonka boat scene, like the tunnel scene. Like, we're about to see the trip of our lives.
I think
Into
I think
it.
for Lemon at least that probably happened before he died.
probably. It's actually how he died, actually, at Willy Wonka's chocolate factory.
Honestly, fair. That place is a death trap. They have
Right.
not heard of OSHA.
He was also trying to drink a Sprite at the same time.
They actually the Oompa Loompas just shot you on sight for copyright infringement. They're like, you can't drink a competitor's drink
Yeah.
in our factory.
That makes sense. I can see that.
Yeah. It was a rocket launcher. It was very dramatic.
Oompa Loompa Doompa Dee Doo.
And I'm sure there were like 6 of them holding it.
Yeah.
To be a little dramatic with you.
You-
Fantastic. Yeah, and so you definitely can tell you are no longer on this open, sort of placid lake almost. You are now on what appears to be a very large, swifter moving river. But again, not so dramatically fast that you feel concerned.
And has our field of vision improved at all? I know earlier you said you can only see like a few feet like away from us.
For quite a while, it seems like you're just surrounded by this like inky darkness. But as you go along, you do see a little bit further out, maybe a couple hundred feet, a very vague shore. You can hear the sound of water lapping against the, I guess you would call it a beach, the edge of the river. It's not very beach. It's not sandy, really.
It's a rock beach. That's fine. It's still a beach.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. And as you start to approach, the boat seemingly almost knows where it's going and goes straight to this shore. And once there, you see that there are just hundreds and hundreds of spirits sort of milling about. There is a lot more room to move here. You can have some personal space, believe it or not. But it just sort of seems boring.
I think even like doesn't get out of the boat yet. We'll look at Lemon and just be like, so do we get out here or we keep going? This seems like that boring place you were describing earlier.
Right, if we stay in the boat, it's just going to keep going down, down, down. But if we get off here in the boring place, we're at the top and
It's true.
potentially closer to finding a rift to get back into the world of the living.
Well, here it is then.
All right, let's just be sneaky.
What does that mean exactly in this context?
Blend in?
Okay, I can do that.
All right.
You'll be great at it. You look like... I don't actually know what you look like. You look very generic to me, though.
Precisely. That's what made me so good at my job. Up until the death part. I mean, Eldritch Terrors don't really care what you look like. Helps investigations, though. Anyway, let's go. We're getting off the boat. We're going on land.
You notice that there's not really any conversation. As the small group you were with leaves the boat, you can hear a little bit. But as you get further away from them, it's almost like the sound gets muffled. But even if you do try to approach some of these small groups or any of the individuals who are just sort of wandering, none of them appear to be interested in talking.
I think Red would maybe go up to like one or two, but then it very quickly becomes clear that no one is interested in talking. We'll like not hold on to Lemon, but be very close to like Lemon's side, you know?
Yeah. I will say, you do notice that while they were fairly vague in feature, the spirits, whenever you were on the boat, and yourselves, are a little bit more solid, a little more detailed than a lot of the spirits you see here. Almost like potentially over time they start to fade away.
Ooh, I don't like that.
Is it just me, Lemon, or does it feel like we're the only ones interesting?
No one has ever said that about me in my entire life.
Well, you're dead, so no one really has said. Anyway, not the point. Do you get that feeling as well?
I do. It might make blending in a little more difficult.
Well, it doesn't look like anyone's staring at us, at least.
Fair. I'm going to roll for staying alert.
Absolutely.
I just feel like that would be... It would be -1 because my karma's negative right now.
Yep.
Because we...
Okay.
Is mine also -1?
Oh, it
for
would be. Yeah.
assisting?
Yeah, you're right.
Okay.
Oh, no.
I think I might need to switch dice. 'Cause that's
Yeah.
5 total.
Oh, man. Yeah.
I think this is Red's fault. I think Red's like talking to you and trying to like maintain a conversation while we're doing this.
Yeah, I think also you feel tired. The longer you're here, the more you just feel like weighted down almost. Like you can still move, but you feel leaden. Like it's almost disincentivizing you from moving. Like you are just almost sloth-like.
Am I also getting that sensation, or
Oh,
is it just-
definitely. Yeah. And it seems to be pervasive. Like you do notice these spirits that are moving usually are a little bit more solid, like not quite as solid as either of you or your compatriots from the boat. I guess your cohort of spirits. Um, yeah, they seem to be not quite as faded as some of the others either, but they almost look like if you had seen movies and knew what movies were, like they're moving in slow motion. And so whenever the two of you move, you do move faster than them, but still it feels almost like when you're walking through water.
I'm getting tired. Do you feel that as well, Lemon?
I apologize for this. I'm going to slap Red. Stay with me.
Does it help?
I think momentarily you feel a little bit better,
Huh.
but I think that it's pretty clear to both of you that if you stay here for too long, you won't want to escape anymore.
Is the boat gone?
As you turn around, it does appear to have moved on.
Okay. Ooh.
Well, we can't
Ooh.
drown, so what if we just swam?
I don't know if that would be much better. Where would we swim to?
Back up? Try to go back to the entrance?
We hit a river. The river current. I don't know if we can swim against that.
Swim with it then. There's surely, Lemon, you seem to know these things better than I, but surely there must be somewhere down here where maybe it's not being alive, or as good as being alive, but there's something not torture and not boring.
Is there?
I mean, potentially. I think that you would know that there are other options besides Asphodel and Tartarus. That there are also, like, I think Lemon would know about Elysium. That is like the next best thing to being able to actually go to Olympus, which no one gets to do unless they're a god. So, it's pretty nice in Elysium.
All right. My biggest worry is that since you said river, the river Styx. Like if we touch it, we're going to lose our memories.
That's a different river.
Okay.
You're still not
thinking
supposed to swim in
Avernus.
the Styx, to be fair, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although we technically already have.
It turned from like a lake to a river.
Okay, true.
But I'm like, is this a technicality?
How semantic are the Greeks?
Huh.
Decently semantic, I would say.
All right. How far have we gotten in before we start to feel this grogginess?
Not
What do
very.
we see around us?
Uh,
Not very. Okay.
Yeah, and mostly what you see, it seems to be there are some very pretty but kind of plain flowers growing, but mostly it's just short grasses, like very very small, gently rolling hills. So I mean, it's not unpleasant. It's just not very exciting. It's not very dramatic, even.
The hills are not alive with the sound of music.
Not at all. Not at all.
All right. Well, let's live or die dangerously, stay dead dangerously. We're going with your idea.
Excellent. I didn't have any others, so I'm glad that one hits the mark
This was plan A through Z.
a little bit.
Amazing.
Splish splash.
So I had to double check because I couldn't remember for sure. Living creatures die instantly if they touch the river. You're already dead.
Baller.
It's very Greek, though. Like,
Right.
Oh, you're already dead, so you're good. Like,
Yeah.
okay.
Again, technicalities. Which just reminds me of that episode of Futurama where they go to the bureaucrat planet and they're like, you're technically correct, which is the best kind of correct.
God.
I've just been watching a lot of Taskmaster, and like some of those tasks, like the technicalities will get to you. And so, yeah, so I've been getting, every so often I get hyper aware of like, wait, what's the technicality? What's the loophole here?
Where's that small print?
Yes.
Ooh. Interesting. Yeah, I'm gonna save that for later. But
Oh, okay.
yeah, no, it's fine. It's fine.
Okay, storyteller.
You do notice though that it seems like something is moving a little bit faster than the other spirits that you've seen and coming straight towards you. And as these very sloth-like spirits start to move out of the way, you see a gang, as far as you can tell, of 6 spirits. And they are all very much wearing traditional, like, hoplite armor. So the Greek helmet with the like single line
Mhm.
in the front, the like horsehair mohawk.
Crests.
Yeah. Like bronze breastplates, very large round shields and spears, and seem to be making a beeline for the 2 of you.
Anywhere to hide? The answer is no, but anywhere to hide.
Absolutely not.
I guess, are we jumping in the water? Do we think the water will deter them at all?
I don't think we have any other options.
We jump, yeah, we dive into that water. Motherfucking
Amazing.
water. Ink, that ink.
It's water, but it's inky water. Yeah.
Squid ink.
Yeah, exactly. It's Squid Games. Little did you know.
Yes. Oh,
Tricked you all into playing this game, and it's not what I said.
I
Yeah.
wouldn't necessarily be mad.
That's fair. That's fair. It's a good trick. Well, it's a fun trick. Maybe not a good trick. But as the 2 of you dive in, I would say I would need your shadows to do the resisting here, because it's going to be a little bit more than the spirits could handle.
Okay.
What should I roll?
That would be the 2d6, and because you both still have negative karma, so it would be minus 1d6.
Minus 1 or 1d6?
1d6.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah.
I've been doing my rolls incorrectly then?
Well, no, just it's for the shadow only.
Oh, okay.
The shadow is a little bit more intense.
Okay.
It's the drum.
Okay.
That's a 2.
So, hold on. So, sorry. So, I still rolled 2d6, then I roll another d6 and subtract.
And
Okay.
subtract it. Yep.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Oh, well,
That didn't help any.
3.
I rolled 3 2s.
Amazing.
The dice gods are just not with me. It's because I said kill the gods.
Yeah,
Probably.
they heard.
It's Zeus. It's Zeus. That's what it is. Let's be real. Yeah, so the two of you
Nice
dive
trail.
in, and maybe it's the coldness of the river. You've been. It's not hot. It's not cold in Asphodel, but I think it's warmer than the area where you were being judged. So you've grown accustomed to this just very bland temperature, and so diving into the Styx is much colder. So maybe even you feel a little tight, a little constricted, and so you're having a hard time swimming against the current back to where you came from, and are dragged further along down the river.
I mean, this is kind of what we wanted.
Are we getting pursued?
It seems like once you're in the water, they're just like watching and maybe even kind of like yelling. But again, Asphodel almost seems to suck in the sound. So like you can see that they're making the motions, but you can't actually hear anything.
I guess we'll take it.
Yeah. Red, I hope we did not make a mistake here.
Think of it on the good side. It's not like we can die again.
It's not like where we were going was any better.
I like my saying a little bit more if it's all the same to you.
It's fair.
Technically, that's where Red was going.
Yes.
So you're just
Oh, this is-
dragging your friend down with you, like friends do.
Yeah.
God. God.
Yeah, so I think that as the two of you are drug along, you do notice that the scenery changes. It's weird because you don't see, there's no sunlight, there's no torches or anything either. But nearer the land, it's dimly lit, maybe some sort of supernatural lighting. And as you continue along, the landscape starts to change, become a little bit more rocky. And you see that there is a very large cliff that rises up, separating Asphodel from the next area. And once you pass this wall, it's dark again for a little while. And you can just barely make out each other from, even if you're nearby, you can barely see each other. But you can hear wailing of hundreds, if not thousands, of voices.
Oh boy.
I love this for us.
Do you know what that is, Lemon?
I am wondering if an alert roll would help me here.
Yeah. And you would have positive karma again because you used your negative.
Yes. Okay. So, am I adding just a +1 or am I adding a whole dice?
Just a
+1.
+1 because you're rolling a spirit.
For us,
Okay.
not a shadow. Okay.
Then +2 because it's my thing. So it's a +3.
Nice.
Yes, finally. That's 12.
Jesus. I mean,
Zeus.
Zeus.
Christ. Yeah, Zeus Christ.
Zeus. Zeus's dick, like
By Zeus's dick. I've got
Zeus's
this.
dick.
Yeah, that classic oath.
Yeah. That classic Greek saying.
Yeah.
Let's be real. They probably did have a saying about Zeus's dick. We just have lost it to
Oh.
time.
100%.
Lemon, you definitely, because you know a lot about death, would know that this is likely no longer the Styx, and you have reached the river Acheron, which is the river of misery and woe.
Mm. Cool. Okay, so we may be in a little more trouble than I was expecting. We
In
are
what
in the river.
sense?
We're in the river of woe.
I don't suppose you mean like,
Whoa, dude.
whoa!
No,
No,
no.
okay. Like, got a little hopeful there, but yeah. Should we try? I don't know if we can climb necessarily, but getting out of the water.
Yeah, is there anything near us that we can, with my alert roll, is there like a
Mhm.
rock or something we can latch onto?
Yeah, I think there are some maybe large rocks protruding from the river as you continue along. Uh, and you can see once you're out of the water, you have a little bit better vantage point, and it has started to lighten here. Sort of in the distance, a few hundred feet away, you can see what looks to be flames, but you've never seen green flames before. Until now.
Oh,
So we get up on one of these rocks. Um, is it a situation where it's like rock, water, shoreline with flames?
Essentially, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like you're on this rock in the middle of the river, and you can see the flames. You can assume that there is land there because logically that would make sense. You are in the underworld, so logic may not apply, but as far as you can tell, that would make
Our
sense.
vibe, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's all about vibes here.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't feel overcome with misery, so that's good.
It's a good first step.
Do you think that light is come over here or go away?
Probably closer to go away,
Okay.
but I don't want to stay in the river, personally.
Yeah. No, I'm not a big fan of being woe and misery and all those
Yeah.
terrible things. Um
We could use some whoa!
exactly, exactly. Hmm. How far is it like jumping distance or is it like you're gonna swim?
Oh, you're gonna swim. It's a couple hundred feet.
Ah, dang.
Yeah.
How strong's the current?
You think that you could make it to the shore. It's
Okay.
more when you're fighting against it that you have a difficult time. When you just go with the flow, things are a lot easier.
All right. All right. Count of 3 and then jump in.
Count of 3.
1, 2, 3.
And diving in, it's not hot, but it is warmer than you remember the water being.
Oh,
It's almost pleasant, almost.
Hmm.
And making your way to the shore, you do see it is like a black sand almost, but very
Yeah.
rocky as well. And as you look around, you don't see people or spirits, I guess. You see a lot of like boulders and rocky outcroppings, and you see what looks to be dead, desiccated trees and shrubs.
Can I go over to a nearby tree and or shrub and not that Red has any prior knowledge of plants, but just like do I get the sense that this is like very old or just like hasn't been like yeah, like is it very old? Is it newerly desiccated?
wow, what
It's
a phrase.
right.
Yeah, can't
Uh,
say I've ever said it before.
it's a little hard to tell, um, but it almost seems like potentially they grew this way.
Like they were
I'm
born
good.
this way, would you say? Yeah.
I almost said that.
I'm gonna possibly regret this. Can I try to like break a twig off?
Yeah, you do with relative ease.
Okay, nothing.
You break this twig, and you hear a voice say, "Just shut up! They're gonna hear you."
Lemon, did you hear that?
Did I hear that?
You did.
Yes, I heard that. They were not being quiet.
It seems like they were loudly whispering.
Whoever's out there, we heard you.
Shut up! Keep your voice down.
Can I stay alert and try to see if I can find the source of this?
Yeah.
Uh,
You do notice that there is a large clump of rocks, maybe 30 feet tall. And it seems like you can see a couple of forms huddled. It almost makes like a triangle, as these, we'll say there's two very large rocks and some smaller ones around them. Seems like they're hiding inside of this formation.
Ooh. I would like to lure them out by telling a story by singing. Like a Disney princess. To
They're like,
let them know,
"No,
like,
just
we're
shut
not
up.
harmful.
No, stop. They're gonna."
Oh,
And as they're like trying to get you to stop, everything goes quiet suddenly. You had heard this wailing continue, but then it just suddenly stops.
oh.
I'm gonna run to the rocks and go hide.
I feel like I have done the most to fuck us over.
But it's delightful.
It's a delightful misery.
Yeah, I'm going to hide in the rocks.
Yeah. As the two of you bolt for the rocks, you see, we'll say, three spirits. Looks like a family. You see these two men and a child with them. And they're just like, "You must be new.
Yes.
You cannot draw their attention."
Who are they?
The Ironies, the Furies.
What are those for the uninitiated?
They're the Punishers. They're
Oh, okay.
the gods' tools to punish the wicked.
That feels very open to interpretation.
Yeah, shouldn't Zeus be punished?
You know, he's the one who makes the rules. It's all about semantics, you know.
Such a dirty word.
And as you're sort of talking with these spirits, you can hear, unlike before, where it was the fluttering of like these hummingbird wings, this is a very massive sounding flapping of wings, very ominous. And you see this large female seeming form flying over you. So it looks to be this woman with a dress and braided hair, and from her back are these very large, almost eagle-like wings. And you see that she has a whip and a sword in her hand.
I'm like pressed against the stone, trying to hide. Like,
What to do? I guess. Yeah, I just stay there, press against the stone, hiding just like Red.
I use cower.
You learned that you had another skill. It's called fear.
My skill of coward.
You know, just, it's how it goes sometimes. Yeah, and not finding the source of the sound, you see that this Irini circles a few times and then flies off in search of other prey.
So no singing.
No singing.
I'll turn to the two men and the child, and my name's Red. I think it's complicated. You said that we're new here, which is true, which means that you must not be new here.
That's correct, yes. I don't really know why we're here. Other, we're dead, obviously. But I don't know why we're here. And they sort of indicate this area. We didn't
Where is
do
here?
anything. Well, I mean, obviously you're dead. You're in Hades. And you're in the domain of the Irinis. And it makes no sense. They're punishers of the wicked, of murderers, of offenses against the gods, perjury. They're supposed to be symbols of justice, divine retribution. We haven't done anything.
Are you like sure? Because I don't remember anything. Like maybe you forgot that you did something like fucked up, you know? Like it happens. It's okay.
I don't remember everything, but I don't believe that we did anything. My husband and I and our son, we're just trying to live our lives.
Okay. Can I like? I don't even know. Like, can I grab Lemon and try to do like a huddle?
Yeah, let's do a huddle. We're huddling.
Okay.
Little sidebar.
We don't really know what we're doing, but
No.
they seem to have some knowledge of the situation. Maybe we agree to travel with them for a little bit, just to get our bearings.
Aces. Turn back around. Hello, friends.
Yeah, we could hear you, right?
Sure.
No, I don't believe. No, we know how to whisper.
Okay, yeah. Whatever you have to tell yourself. By the way, my name's Lukos. This is my husband Bryson. This is our son Dexios.
Hail
This
and
is
well
Lemon.
met. Lemon.
Why are you here? What did you do?
Died.
Right, but why are you here? And they're again like gesturing to.
We jumped off the boat.
Oh, that was not smart.
Well, and then I stop myself. So I don't want to tell him that we pushed Karen off.
Well, you see, I didn't want to end up in the boring place, Asphodelos. So I ended up here.
You could have been in the Asphodel Meadows, and you gave that up?
I'm gonna be very real with you right now. It was incredibly boring.
It sounds much better than here.
There is less wailing, I'll give you that.
That's a solid start. You're not selling me on not being there right now.
But this is much more exciting.
That's a word for it. That's not the word I would choose, but that is a word for it.
Would you like to come with us then? We're trying to leave.
What could we do?
Well, you seem to know just waves. Just, you know, hmm.
We're just farmers.
I don't even remember what my job was.
Red was unemployed.
Super unemployed.
Professionally unemployed.
I did things
For money, probably.
for money. To better humanity.
That's incredibly vague. Slightly concerning.
Oh, you just don't want to know what I dealt with. Although, since we're here, I guess you would believe some of the things I've seen.
Yeah. We've seen some stuff since we've been here. I wish that I knew how to get elsewhere, but I don't know that we can do anything. We have no power of our own, especially not against the gods or their messengers.
Right. So what is the layout of this place? People clearly have to come here somehow. Is it all that beach over there, or do they come by other means?
Well, spirits come here on the boat, much like I thought you did, but I guess you didn't. I don't know about how the others move about. There must be some other way.
Yeah, I would feel like it's very inconvenient if you could only access this through a ferry that only comes by every once in a while. It'd be awfully inefficient. Um, so let's look for another way.
Well, I guess maybe you could find out where the Ironies go.
Yeah, that's true. All right, so we have a game plan.
It's a really stupid one, but it might work.
I mean, we've done stupider.
We jumped out of the boat.
Yeah, the River Styx has nothing on the Ironies.
That's true. They're completely different. One of them's a river.
You're not wrong.
It's a very important distinction.
Very important.
I'm glad you know the difference. I'm proud of you.
Red doesn't know a lot of things, so I think that we should actually celebrate what they do now.
That's fair.
We should.
That's fair.
Just get some poppers.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's fair to say that Lucas and Bryson are probably being genuine. I mean, they're both dads, so I think they're just like actually proud.
Awesome. Well, let's go ahead and explore then.
Before you do, I'm curious as the storyteller. I know that Red doesn't remember a whole lot, but you as Elliot, what was Red's life like? Like, did he have family who cared and were proud of him, or were around at all?
Yeah, so my main concept is the unfulfilled promise is that Red promised to go. Red went on a journey and promised to come back to someone and died on the way.
Ooh. So, just spitballing, do you think that we'll say specifically his dad? Do you think his dad was proud of him or ever told him?
Oh, I think it's that complicated situation of his dad was proud but never told him.
No.
I think that this sort of triggers a little bit of memory in Red. Maybe remembering the last time you saw your dad before you went on this trip. What was that like?
I think Red's father did not want them to go. And I think that some harsh words were shared. There's a lot of like, you can't do this, like you're not ready for it. Yeah, you're not ready for it. And Red was just like, well, I'm going to do it. You should believe in me for once. And then marched out without really saying goodbye properly.
That's rough. That hurts me a little bit. I'm gonna take some psychic damage. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Would you share any of this, or would this just be sort of like internal for Red?
I think Red has this like visceral memory kind of hit them, right?
Mhm.
And all of a sudden just kind of blinks and just sits down. Did anyone else see that?
See what?
No.
I was in a house and there was someone talking to me, yelling at me, saying that I was making the wrong decision, that I shouldn't go. And I said something back, and I left. And then I was back here.
I think that's a remnant of your life coming back to you.
That was rather unpleasant.
Sounds like it.
Is it always that unpleasant?
Not always. Sometimes it's quite nice.
Anyway, we were discussing our plans. We have to find a way out of here.
Well, I think we can possibly help you with trying to find a way out, but I feel like you're not going to be able to find a way out until you find a way to deal with your burden.
I don't have a burden. It's all right. I don't remember almost anything about myself. I don't know about you. Lemon, do you feel like you have a burden?
Oh, most definitely.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you feel it just right in here.
I didn't. Anyway, so what's this about a burden? Do we have to unload it then? Get rid of it somehow?
Well, it's different for every person, every spirit, but finding some way to finish your unfinished business.
That seems difficult to do when we're here.
It does, but I'm sure you'll find a way. You seem quite capable.
What's your unfinished business?
We don't know.
No, I understand. I'm not sure what mine is either.
How do we discover this?
Well,
you've got You got your flash because something happened. So I suppose we just keep doing things.
It's as good a plan as any.
It's sort of a plan.
It's a terrible plan.
It's a wonderful plan.
All I seem to have are terrible plans these days.
I don't think they've gone that wrong. Everything's sort of worked out.
It's fair.
Can I poke my head out of the rocks and just check that there's no, like, fury waiting for us?
Currently, you do not see them.
The coast looks clear.
Let's go.
Where are you going?
Further inland, we're looking for an alternative exit and or entrance.
Yes.
So I think before you would take off, probably Bryson would say, look, I said this was a stupid plan, but it'd be even more stupid if I didn't tell you what I think might be helpful. If it doesn't get you, I guess you can't be killed. Whatever happens, I'm sure something else can happen. Worse than death. I've heard of that, but I don't want anything bad to happen to you. So I feel like I should warn you, or I guess give you this information that if you want to find where they go, you'll need to get their attention first, so that they come out, and then you can see where they go.
Well, okay. Should I do this?
Yes. Yes.
All right.
Commit.
Yeah, I start singing.
Amazing. Yeah, go ahead and give me a roll for your singing. I believe this time you have negative karma.
Do I?
I believe so.
Does it flip every time I use it?
I'll double check because
I'm pretty. I was just looking at it, and it says it flips when when it's appropriate in the story.
Okay, that makes sense.
Excellent. That's an 8.
Okay. Yeah, I think you were able to sing a pretty nice song, and it definitely gets their attention.
I think as I'm singing, I'm telling a story of some vague childhood memory I have.
The song of childhood drama.
Yeah. Like climbing a lemon tree and falling off.
Yeah. Yeah. You not only attract one, but 2 Erinys. And you see that they are circling in opposite directions. Very much like buzzards waiting for something to die. But in this case, you're already dead.
Watching, like, very anxiously, waiting for them to kind of, like, once they, like, head out, right, following one.
Yeah. Does Lemon stop singing once you hear the wings, or do you continue?
No, I stop singing when I hear the wings.
Okay.
'Cause I think the goal here is to like get their attention, hide. When they get there, they look around, and as they go off, we do the little sneaky sneak. The don't be suspicious.
Works every time.
Be suspicious? No.
Yeah, so it seems like they linger a little bit longer this time. Like,
I mean, that's fair.
yeah, like they are a little bit suspicious now that it's the second time that they've heard something that wasn't screaming and wailing. But eventually, one of them goes away. The other kind of lingers a little bit and doesn't seem to be leaving.
I think we need to beat it up.
How exactly?
Well, I mean, we've got the things coming out of us. That seems helpful.
You have a thing coming out of you. I haven't seen anything like that.
You got a snake.
Well, it's much smaller. Not. All right. If there's really no other way of doing this, I guess we'll do it your way.
All right.
It worked out on the boat.
Works so.
Jump out from behind the rock.
I'm gonna let him jump out first, and I'm gonna jump out on the other side of the rock.
I just want to say Persona so bad.
Yeah, it does not take long for this winged woman to catch sight of the two of you. And immediately you see that her wings swoop back and she just starts to dive bomb towards you.
Oh boy. Okay. What's the distance? Do I have to move before I attack?
I mean, you can tell she's coming right at you. Like, you could just wait. Also, she has the advantage of wings. So, a lot of ability to stay out of your reach.
Okay, then yeah, I guess I'm waiting. I'm standing my ground.
I think Red has this very brief moment of like, I could just run for it. I could just leave. Before being like, oh, but no, Lemon is our friend. And yeah, they are going to try to So is the Fury going after Red or Lemon? Can we tell?
How far apart are the two of you?
I'm on the other side of the rock. Well, like, if I imagine the rock, there's more than one way of exiting this.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I would say probably it's going towards Lemon.
I'm gonna try to basically do a circular maneuver so we pincer,
Yeah.
opposite ends.
Perfect. All right. I think that's a good place for us to end for the night, and we will pick this back up very soon. So
Woo!
Thank you all for coming and watching, and thank you, players, for ridiculously gay dead times. And looking forward to more.
Woo!
Yeah. Spooky.
Yeah. Alrighty. Bye.
Bye.